Hello, spiritual leaders and conscious coaches. Zane Wheeler here today. I wanted to join you for a little message that I wanted to deliver to this new group, Healing Through Conscious Coaching. I'm excited about. Just changed the name yesterday. It's a big deal for me. It really kind of points toward what we're working in here, which is recognizing that our coaching abilities are of the utmost importance in terms of influencing and helping to engender within the world population a sense of growth, right, and spiritual expansion, right? It starts with us. It starts with the coaches. So it's important to have a support group on Facebook for coaches just like this. Now, I've had the group for a long time, and it's always really been about coaching, but, it's gone back and forth between a few different topics. But I've finally been able to land on conscious coaching, and I'm really excited about it, so I hope you are too. I wanted to talk to you guys today about being a leader in the outer world, and the vital step that it takes to get there is becoming a leader of your inner world, okay? And what I mean by that is our consciousness, as it filters through our person, is prismatic, right? It becomes filtered into different angles and different segments, and these segments become archetypes, self-archetypes. Okay, so we have like the rebel archetype, the critic within us, the Mr. Together that needs to get everything done on time, the Mrs. Together, of course, the same archetype. And so we're looking at these prismatic sort of reflections or exhibitions of ourself, right? And what we want to do is we want to make sure that that team of archetypes is aligned behind you and the common goal of succeeding in your outer world. And what this takes is a bit of understanding about self-communication. Self-communication is really the cornerstone of work that I do with my clients every week, right? What we're really doing is we're going within into a meditative state to access the subconscious or the blueprint of you so that we can contact these archetypes that are within you and see which ones are working for you and which ones are working against you. And the ones that are working against you just have a need that needs to be met. So if we think about maybe a rebel archetype that has run amok, right? And it's becoming a saboteur, right? It's sabotaging what we're trying to achieve in life. We want to recognize that this saboteur, this rebel archetype run amok, needs to be talked to. And this is where self-communication comes in. So these techniques of self-communication are, sophisticated, but really easy to learn. And this is what I work with on my clients every single week, which is really, really exciting stuff. And what's the best part about it is my clients are then learning how to do it on their own. So if they wake up in the morning and they go into a meditative state, they can then access an archetype that they feel like needs to be talked to that day, right? And when they access this archetype, when they begin that conversation, we want to ask, the archetype why it's running amok, why it's, subverting what we're trying to do in the outer world, right? So the communication starts right there. So if you're experiencing depression, if you're experiencing anxiety, if you're experiencing some sort of irritability and maybe a purposelessness, right? You're not sure which direction to turn in life, right? It becomes awkward because you start to recognize that, well, maybe something inside of me is misaligned, right? And that's when self-communication really, really comes in handy. So as a coach, it's important to learn techniques of self-communication, to be able to use those techniques regularly so that you can keep yourself aligned with yourself, right? And then you can truly reach out in the outer world, coming from a place of continuity of self, right? This is when we can really start to influence the world and become masters of our own reality, right? Because we're constantly manifesting. So let's recognize that what's being manifested sometimes is coming from our unconscious or subconscious. And if that's out of alignment, we're going to be manifesting those things that are out of alignment, that begin with misalignment. And so if we can deep inside, if we can look inside and we can start that self-communication process, we can really reach a space of self-trust because all of our archetypes are aligned with one another. And when we reach that self-trust, I really believe that love comes from that, obviously, because in a loving relationship, you need trust as a foundation, right? And then from that self-love comes true happiness and sustained happiness. It's a beautiful thing, and it all starts with self-communication. So if you feel like you need some help to understand what it takes to communicate with yourself, to understand how to meditate correctly so that you can go into the subconscious, so you can access that realm of communication, then message me, because I'd love to work with you. I'd love to help you with that, because really it all starts there. It all starts with this right in here, right? It starts with the arena of communication deep in your heart. So let's stop the chatter up top and let's start the communication in the heart. I love you guys. Have a great, great day. And message me for any questions that you want answered. And please comment. All right, guys. Take care.